With some kind of upgrade. I was like, oh,
It's a little seductive. My partner's car one, she's really slutty. She's like, connected. And I'm like, oh, whoa.
Victorian's women's fashion was famously elaborate and layered with corsets, petticoats, crinolines, bustles, basically anything that could fully encumber a woman and ensure she could not ride a horse, do the dishes, sit down, or even breathe comfortably.
It's true. I like when you go to the bank and there are more employees than customers there. They're all like milling behind the counter. They're like, I thought we all came in to help decide on the new coin wrapper vendor. Who are all these people that are trying to get their money out?
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.
Well, despite being absolutely buried in snow, it's time for episode 32.
No, it is like just ice coming out of the sky. It just goes, you can hear it hitting the ground.
Yeah. So we are broadcasting from deep inside Ice Station Zebra this week. Let me tell you.
God.
I don't think we're leaving the house for the next 5 days.
So it is good though. We went out Friday night for a little bit and we went last night to a death metal show. So we got to see Horrendous Gotia.
That's right. Horrendous was great. Again, they always crush it. Yeah.
So yeah, they did a great job. We also figured out that a lot of the guys in Horrendous are also in Crypt Sermon. I don't know why we didn't put that together until now.
Which we love Crypt Sermon, but that's on the other show, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, we did
So this show, it's Horrendous. That show, it's Crypt Sermon.
Crypt Sermon.
But
Stygia and Rose.
I said to the guy, I was like, how will you guys get home? It's supposed to be a bad storm tonight. And he's like, well, we only live up in Philly. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, luckily they pushed the show up an hour. So they were literally wrapping things up at like 9:30, quarter to 10.
Yeah, we were like the only ones. I said, let's have a beer with these guys, right? And everybody was just like, oh, are you crazy? We're packing this shit up. Like we were the only ones. So,
but we still got home, plenty of time, no snow.
Great time. Yeah, we actually like full-fledged adults. We went out Friday night and Saturday night. How do you like that? And don't tell anybody.
So
we were
oh, that's your coffee. No work tomorrow. We've already heard already. So.
Yeah, so we'll be working on the next show. Whoop-de-doo. So in the meantime, let's talk about approval rating. Now, I am not sure why I attract this particular type of spam, but on my phone, I have to clean out my voicemail like every couple of days because I will be flooded with messages, and they're all like this. Hi, this is Claire. I'm giving you a call from our financial verification office of the loan processing unit regarding your loan request, of which I never made one. Your application was recently reevaluated, flagged for a second review for up to $67,000. And I'm thinking, wow, that's not even a round number. I'm so glad I got a second chance. I think I qualified last time by the skin of my teeth, like maybe 6.5 cents or something, or maybe that was just my account balance. I don't know.
I like when they leave full names like Violet Nelson, Brooklyn Ramirez, which I guess would lend a lot of credibility if they included the name of an actual financial institution.
No, why split hairs,
As if I'm thinking, well, Brooklyn Ramirez wouldn't lie to me.
Hey, who the hell's that? Yeah.
Actually, the lack of a bank name is not what gives these 10 to 15 messages per week away. It's actually the fact that they are calling repeatedly to give you money. No mess, my friend.
Banks don't work this way. Have you ever actually applied for a bank loan? There is absolutely nothing fast about it. Even if you've got great credit score, a ton of equity, and your relatives work in the fund trails department, it doesn't matter. This will take weeks. And by the time you visited the bank, filled out all the paperwork, heard nothing for a month, received an additional request for more information, and followed up 3 times yourself, you still don't have any money. Because you still need a notarized letter about the inheritance from your deceased grandmother, 3 character references, and forms signed and initialized about 250 times. But this random voicemail promises no credit checks, no long forms, and no obligation.
Wait, isn't a payment plan kind of the definition of obligation?
Why split hairs?
Apparently, this loan exists in a red, Cape Free Zone, where you can also get all the free kale and telex paper you want with zero delay whatsoever. Suffices to say, no self-respecting bank in the world would follow up every single day for 2 weeks straight to process your loan. This would effectively short-circuit our economy's great bureaucracies. I can get this processed for you today, said no bank employee ever.
That's true. I like when you go to the bank and there are more employees than customers there. They're all like milling behind the counter, and it still takes you forever to get in and out. And back behind the counter, they're like, I thought we all came in to help decide on the new coin wrapper vendor. Who are all these people that are trying to get their money out?
Similarly, you are also not likely to get a call from your health insurance company beside themselves with excitement to let you know they received the bill from Dr. Pancake's office and your dermatology consultation is fully covered. Rest assured, we are on your side at the Douse's Health Connection. Of course, I didn't get that message for several days because my mailbox was inundated with calls from the Internal Revenue Service to let me know they had finished their detailed analysis of my last tax payment, and you were absolutely correct about that deduction regarding your beekeeping startup. In fact, we owe you $92.15 because it took us an extra week to get back to you. Please enjoy this $25 prepaid phone card.
No,
IRS always gives out prepaid.
never
phone
going to
cards.
happen. Never going to happen. Or how about this? Hi, this is Marty Schwankel from the Social Security Administration in Washington, D.C. We noticed your contributions have really been adding up, and we thought you'd like to hear about what we're doing with your funds. We actually just finished an exhausting 6-month bidding process for new staplers for the entire office. We thought you'd like to know that while the reps for Swingline were very professional, we decided to go with Bow Stitch this year to the tune of 29,000 units. Please feel free to give us a call for more information at 1-800-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah.
This is the kind of thing that gives me a nostalgic feeling for billboards, timeshare pitches, and extortions by computer malware. Honey, do we still have that card for the Amway rep and the Rolodex?
Okay, let's talk about a feature interview.
Our feature interview this week is with Tom Mitchell and Eloise Chong-Gargette, the London-based metal duo Trauma Bond. This is a great one, folks. We discuss everything from the origin of the band's name to the making of their thrilling full-length Summer Ends, Summer Long Gone, the crazy story of the video shoot for the song Good Grief. We get into a great discussion about their Metal Archives profile, Eloise's wordsmithing processes, and run through a super fun round of blaspheming monikers. So stay tuned for that. Let's play a song. This is Good Grief.
Okay, let's talk about Patreon. The site is patreon.com/Snaggletooth podcast, and for $6.66 a month, you get an old-fashioned elevator that makes odd creaking noises full of Mark Stace. Well, at long last, I finished this book. Actually, it wasn't long last. It only took me like 2 weeks to read it because it was kind of urgent. But would you like to know if this book's any good? Gary Holt from Exodus's biography. You'll just have to log into Patreon and check it out. Though, do we get into the whole history of Ruthie's Inn? Do we get into his time with Slayer? What was that like? We'll just have to get over there and check it out. I'll be posting it this week.
How does he feel about Slayer's new concert dates?
That's right. It's all there.
Anyway, so get over to Patreon. It only costs you less than a Happy Meal to support the show, keep us going, and also you, in turn, support the underground music that we promote here on this show and go to shows for.
That's right. And speaking of all things horrendous, I think it's time.
Here we go.
Hit it.
And now it's time for Obnoxious Trivia!
Okay, Obnoxious Trivia, semi-educational version begins.
All right. Vivian Mayer once told a man who asked what she did for a living, "I'm kind of a spy." She died in poverty and obscurity in 2009 after working most of her life as a nanny. Her posthumous fame began when John Maloof bought what at a Chicago storage locker auction?
Who's John Maloof?
Well, he's the guy who discovered.
With a guy named John Maloof? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He bought the stuff. She died in poverty, and they found a storage locker, and they were trying to auction off the stuff
got
in
it.
it.
Okay.
John Maloof bought it. Was it A, mummified body parts she collected as reference material? B, thousands of remarkable black and white street photographs? C, over 200 vintage books, many signed by their authors? Or D, stolen sculptures worth thousands of dollars?
Vivian Mayer, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with D, stolen sculptures.
Actually, it was thousands of remarkable black and white street photographs. She would
Really?
actually wander around with her well-to-do children and photograph poorer areas of town. She had tons of film that had not even been developed. These pictures now sell for thousands of dollars at auction. She was really good at doing portraits, especially of herself and also kind of indigent street people.
Any pictures of Spider-Man?
No pictures.
She didn't get Spider-Man.
But
What is this? Two geezers playing chess in the park? What is this garbage?
Anyway, she was, even though she died in poverty posthumously, she's huge.
So she didn't make any money on any of her pictures. They made money after she was gone.
She just put them all in a storage area.
Wow.
Luckily, she was homeless herself. And then
Luckily, she was homeless.
Well, sorry. Luckily for her, the family that she had been the nanny for kind of helped her out at the end and
Okay, got it.
kind of made her at least comfortable for her end years.
Okay, number 2. I am 0 for 1.
In 2012, you told me to include years. I tried to do that.
Okay.
In 2012, artist Candy Chang created an installation titled Confessions to explore human emotion and shared life experiences. Where did the confessions come from?
An installation.
It was an art exhibit.
Okay. Okay.
A, anonymous ones recorded by priests in confessionals. B, confessions submitted by people in a forum on Craigslist. C, written confessions left by participants in a public confession booth, knowing strangers would read them. Or D, from secret cameras in a local bar that they signed releases for after. So she used these confessions to kind of make this art exhibit.
I'm going to say C, written confessions left by participants, knowing strangers would read them.
You're absolutely correct.
It's so weird. It has to be it.
Yep.
Yeah.
People would actually volunteer to write their confessions and then
knowing they're going to be used. Okay.
It was done anonymously, but they still wrote the confession.
Anything really juicy or what?
I didn't get into exactly what the art was. We can look into that later, but I just
I
thought
was young. I needed the work, right?
I just thought it was interesting.
Okay, number 3. I actually got one. Yay.
Jillian Waring won the Turner Prize in 1997 for her work 60 Minutes Silence. What did the piece consist of? We did all art this time around.
Apparently, yes. Okay.
A, people holding up broken wristwatches and clocks. B, police officers standing silently for an hour as their composure gradually broke. D, stop action photos of people dancing to the click of a stopwatch. Or D, hidden cameras filming people asleep in public spaces for an hour. So she won the prize for this 60 minutes of silence.
You say A, people holding up wristwatches and clocks.
I thought that was a better one too. But no, it was actually police officers that she made stand for an hour.
Until they lost it.
Until they started giggling or goofing off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I won a prize for that. I liked my idea better.
I like that one better. Holding up wristwatches would be better.
Yeah.
So
I totally made that up.
Okay. Number 4.
Sorry, I don't know how 5 got.
Oh, how 5 got in there. Okay.
Soft White Underbelly, also my latest obsession, is a video project that interviews people living on the margins of society. What is unusual about how Mark Ladia films his subjects? A, he hides cameras around the room to capture unguarded moments. B, he always films them against the same stark white background, removing context so the person becomes the focus. C. He requires subject to wear costumes representing their true inner self. Or D. He records interviews with voice alterations and filters to protect the subject's identity.
Say that he does the same stark white background.
You are absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yay.
He always does it the same. It's kind of
That just seems
sepia
very
with
specific.
white tones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one you watched the other night after I fell
Yeah.
asleep? Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, I get two of them right.
I went down a little rabbit hole. I started watching this documentary on this guy from Jackass.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You were telling me
and-
Evil Bam.
Yeah, Bam going to rehab, and then they started talking about soft white underbelly, and I totally ditched the thing and went to look at some soft white underbelly. It's a crazy
It's also
YouTube
the
channel.
name for Blue Oyster Cult before they were Blue Oyster Cult. They were called Soft One Underbelly, and they were total deadheads. So, there's that. So, anyway, all right, this has been Obnoxious Trivia. Okay, now that we know all about art, it's time for our Snaggletooth. We'll call this one Call Me Maybe.
Victorian's women's fashion was famously elaborate and layered with corsets, petticoats, crinolines, bustles, basically anything that could fully encumber a woman and ensure she could not ride a horse, do the dishes, sit down, or even breathe comfortably. These dramatic silhouettes left zero room for practicality because they were not designed to be useful. They were a full-scale study in decorative suffering. This was, after all, the era of the fainting sofa.
Pockets, of course, were rare or completely inaccessible. Between the folds, pleats, layers, and architectural marvels happening south of the waist, reaching a pocket would have required a sundial, a compass, and an extra set of fingers. Tie-on pockets, which were actually used in the 17th and 18th centuries, let's say one of the street vendors was offering a sale on some perfume or designer buttons. Females had to be savvy back then, as these deals often had strings attached. These quietly disappeared as styles shifted and society collectively decided, even back then, that fanny packs were a no-go. Again, fascinating considering they were cool with hoop skirts wide enough to knock small children into oncoming traffic.
Even society dames had things to carry. A few shillings for a pig at the market, extra nose powder, or needle and thread in case of a wardrobe malfunction. So what did these women have instead, this forerunner of the pocketbook? The reticule. It was basically a drawstring bag. Big Crown Royal bag, just without the liquor. The reticule provided a tiny pocket of personal space whilst commuting to embroidery class. In a world where an exposed ankle could cause a medical event, this little bag earned a surprisingly positive nickname, the Indispensable.
But what did you keep in this indispensable little sack of secrets? Calling cards were among the most important items. Yes, you've heard the phrase leaving your calling card before, but this was not metaphorical. This was once a very real, extremely serious thing. These were small printed cards bearing a woman's name, exchanged during visits or left behind when making a formal call to a home to discuss tea cozies or which lady friend Dr. Brattlebroom was looking to court this week.
The cards were then collected and used to keep track of your social calendar. Think of it as a loose, non-functional Rolodex as a springboard for judgment. Forgetting to leave one was a major social no-no, perceived slight. I would imagine months of planning went into getting these from the printing house.
But how could we actually verify this was Miss Bubbles McGee, Princess of Nantucket? I mean, yes, the name was printed on the card. What were background checks like in 1847 anyway? The Botany Club and everyone at the cricket match agreed she was an upstanding citizen. Or perhaps this is why Sherlock Holmes was so indispensable at the time.
And what if several people handed you their cards in quick succession and you accidentally shuffled the deck? Who's on first now? Suddenly you have socially offended 3 women and accidentally invited a stranger to tea. Honestly, this might have paved the way for name tags and eventually led to more nuanced Panera Bread Yelp reviews. Brittany was attentive and the pickled onions were dreamy.
It's weird today that we use the phrase calling card more in conjunction with murder investigations. The phrase now describes ritualistic behavior not necessary to a crime's completion. Weird body poses, chrysalises in weird places, the discarded cryptogram, or even scarlet pimpernels have taken the place of embossed cards hidden up Miss Caroline's crumpet.
It's the irresistible urge to be extra. They serve the same purpose whether you're the Golden State Killer or Josephine Butler, saying, "You will remember me."
Okay, I can't take any more. Let's play a song. This is Trauma Bond with Brushed by the Storm. Okay, let's talk about Coffee AM. We didn't bring any down, but we have a ludicrous amount upstairs, don't we?
Yes, Coffee AM is this great online web store out of Georgia. Their coffees are delectable. They have flavored coffees. They have fair trade coffees. They have micro lots.
All
They
kinds
have
of cool,
single origin
cool flavors like raspberries and chocolates and macadamias and just so many
cookies.
great things. I mean,
Meisu.
we never ever can get the same at a grocery store that we get at Coffee AM.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
flavors are so well done and never that perfumey overpowered where you don't want to drink it.
Yeah, it's never potpourri. It's always coffee. Yeah.
So, yeah, they also have great teas, great, they always have good seasonal varieties. Even in summer, they even had summer coffees. Or if you don't like flavored coffees at all, they certainly have everything from Kona coffee to coffee from, where do we get the kids?
Oh, Bali.
Oh, even stuff from Bali.
Yep.
So use our link. It will save you off your first order.
Even if you're a weirdo and like decaf, they have something for you. Yeah.
You too can get that FedEx to your door.
That's right.
And you too can have great tasting coffee. You'll never go back, trust me.
Yep. Okay, it's time for Bombastic Classic.
Bombastic.
And this week, we're going to talk about this album, which is Master's 2007 Killer, Slaves to Society. Now, this is one of these bands, I can't believe we're like 90 episodes into the show and we never talked about Master before, but hey, what are you going to do? Paul Speckman's Master are a band left out of far too many metal discussions. Their legacy goes all the way back to the very birth of extreme metal, 1983, actually. And over 4 decades, they've dropped album after album of caustic quality death metal. They should also be included in any conversations about power trios, as they've operated as one for most of their long-running career. At this point, Master sort of reminds me of my DVD collection. How is that possible, Mark? Well, I'll tell you. I mean, I enjoy my DVDs. I'm proud of them, but I always forget about them. I can't tell you how many times I've paid to stream a movie, and then 5 minutes later, I realize that the physical copy from 20 years ago is just sitting right over there. While most metal discussions these days seem to revolve around festivals, the Big Four, $20 spin, or more recently, the option of leaving your singer at a gas station, the impeccable discography of Chicago's Master is criminally under-discussed until now.
It was hard to pick an album for this feature. Master is sort of like Deceased and Voivod in that they boast an extensive and highly interesting discography, from the hardcore-tinged early records to curiosity like 2004's Spirit of the West, a death metal tribute to cowboys?
Yeehaw.
But this ripper is the one that made the biggest impression on me, featuring the classic lineup of Speckman on bass and vocals, Alex Najesklba on guitar, and Zdeněk Pradlovsky on drums.
Apparently there's some kind of a Russian, I don't know, or Slavic connection with Master, but anyway.
Slave to Society is 11 songs, just about in the no-frills 3 to 4 minute range, and the technical details handled as usual by guitarist Neza Shleva and mastered by Pavel Havakia. Speckman's vocals are full of his signature sandpaper grit, and the grooves he leads the band through here are some of the strongest in his long discography. This album is a total ripper from start to finish, but a few hot spots are worth mentioning.
The last chapter represents a change of pace, kicking off with a stuttering, slow-tempo riff that just pulls the listener in with its crunchy tone and unhurried charm. It takes off around the 1 minute mark, juggling not one but two spectacular riffs, Chorus riffing here is one of the album peaks, sure to get heads moving as Speckman barks, "The New Age gods disgust us," eventually setting up Nejislava for an epic solo that flirts with the wah pedal here and there. Let's hear a little of the last chapter.
Beaten for the Possibility is another standout, built on an unforgettable steamrolling riff that hurls itself into hardcore speed for another gloriously rotten chorus and lyrics that speak of violent hardships, including but not limited to tarring and feathering.
Tarring and feathering. Where else would you go for such things?
I just was worried about that this morning.
That's exactly.
World Police is one of the longer tracks on the record with a 6-minute runtime, and the track kicks off with a hint of arena-style drum solo from Pradlovsky before settling into a scorching speedball pace reminiscent of Prime Obituary. My favorite track on this thing has got to be the title track for the combination of unhinged speed and little rifflets the band toys with between choruses and verses. There's some kind of percussive tomfoolery that Pavlovsky plays around with several times in the song, some kind of tinkering with cymbals or rims that has a power beyond my capability for analysis and or for understanding, but admittedly, I'm wagging my head too intensely to try to figure it out.
Definitely add this one to your must-hear Snaggletooth Decay archive and be prepared to spend some time with the band over the course of several full lengths, all boasting impeccable quality and I guarantee worthy of your time. And don't forget there's absolutely no reason for you to pay to stream World War Z again because the DVD is sitting on the shelf right next to you. I know it's only $4.99, but at this point you could probably reach it from your sofa, you lazy bastard.
Let's play a clip. This is Slaves to Society.
Okay, want to choose the interview?
Was definitely really keyed up after hearing this album, which won its way into my heart. And as you will hear, I was whispering it at the microwave oven. For Trauma Bond, Tom and Eloise were absolutely delightful. I felt like we connected with them on so many different levels, including maybe our love of red wine and our
Male and female creator, imagine that. So take it away. Yeah, we were just saying that we normally laugh about these podcasts that are like a cup of Joe with Jamie and Bill, but this is actually going to be kind of like a cup of Joe with Mark and Stace because of the time of day. except we're going to talk about incredibly violent music. So that's
And
great.
this is my cup of Joe. So.
It's cocktail hour in your neck of the woods. Yeah.
yeah.
That's my one.
Yeah,
I got my Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I'll be on to your cup of Joe in a little while.
Good
Yeah,
for you.
totally.
I mean,
Later
1 o'clock
this
for
evening.
me.
So where did you kind of come across the idea of a trauma bond come into focus for you? I mean, a lot of people have lived inside one, like me, never knowing that the term existed. Did it surface through therapy, late night scrolling, or some other kind of research?
I think mine was definitely therapy based. And it was certainly something that, because Tom was my friend, we talked about. And then it sort of, I think it's appeared in everyone's vernacular quite a lot lately. But yeah, it was a little bit more of a new term when I originally discovered it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I remember that. I think it was Eloise that introduced me to the term as a suggestion for the name for the band and the project. And that's when the first I'd heard of it. And then now I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ends up being like one of those buzzwords. It happens all the time that somebody will come up with a term that I've never heard. Somebody was talking today on the internet about house burping. I was like, this is a thing. In the winter, you open up your doors for like 10 minutes, and they were explaining why you need to do this. I'm like, I don't think so.
Wow, I
Oh,
never heard that one.
I
Okay,
actually
that's
quite
just
like that as a
airing
term.
airing your
It's
house
like
out, house
you
burping.
start saying, wait, does my house need to be burped? I don't know.
I think there's a certain amount of linear feet of property that you have to have for that to become an issue, you know.
Yeah,
Is
very
there
true.
apartment burping? I mean, that'd be my first question, you know. Yeah.
So confused.
Yeah, is it only for houses? Are we, for us less lucky, can we burp our flats?
That's right.
Yeah, apartments, you just have to do the friends thing. You get apartment pants, and then you're okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, taking that a step further, I love how violent and overwhelming and weirdly addictive it is in its release. Do you see any parallel between like an actual trauma bond and the push-pull relationship where listeners have with the sound where the intensity hurts, but the release is worth it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've always sort of described the violent part of what we try and create is it's like a catharsis, you know, it's a cathartic violence, you know, that and I think that's people that don't really listen to extreme music, for example, they think they hear violent music as being like, oh, it's dangerous or something, rather than it being this kind of you know,
It's a
it's not
purge.
violent. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not it's like violence with an asterisk. So I think like yeah, I guess because it's a catharsis, I guess that kind of purge and subsequent release is always going to be there, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very true. Like going to Maryland Death Fest the first time, I was a little afraid. Nicest, everybody is the nicest people you'd ever want to meet because they're already purged and they're just like
Exactly.
sweet.
They're working through it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like kind of just yeah, it's literally just a form of therapy to be aggressive and let it out in a healthy way because you're not hurting anyone, you know, it's in a little bubble, you and another person or other people, and you just make this thing together, and it's you know that all the energy is put into that thing, and that thing's not a sentient being. It can't be harmed or hurt anyone. So you know,
Someone's at the front doorbell.
Oh,
You want to grab that?
okay. Someone's apparently at my front door. Let's see what's
Okay.
going
No,
We're getting.
I
Oh,
hope it's something good.
I think it's our lunch. Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. No, our joke was always if you really want to see people violently stepping all over each other, go to some sort of stock trading event, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and it'll be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
just stepped on your hand and we repossessed your Mercedes. So there, you know,
yeah,
we don't have that problem in the pit at MDF. So, you know,
yeah, exactly,
the people are respectful.
Yeah, I feel like
exactly.
the Swiftie community is probably a lot meaner than ours.
I would think so, yes. Not that I would know. So
No,
I don't have any
even
stock
saying
trading
Swiftie felt
available.
really, really weird.
That's not my environment now. Was it the Jimmy stuff? Okay, cool. All right. Okay.
on. Weird too. We have this Google Home Assistant, and it used to kind of be this guy, and he sounded kind of jive, and well, your guy, and then my guy. All of a sudden, we came home, and our Google Assistant is British. I don't know why. It's fine. I kind of like it, but I was like, okay.
Yeah. And you didn't have a
So yeah,
choice.
that it was some kind of upgrade. I was like, oh,
It's a little seductive. My partner's car one, she's really slutty. She's like, connected. And I'm like, oh, whoa, back off. Yeah, I hate her.
Well, I always wonder, like, where do the old voices go? Like, is that the guy that we used to have? Is he now proceed into the car wash? You know, is that where they bumped him down to the
He's
poor guy?
downgraded.
He lost the big gig with Google, you know.
Yeah,
yeah, it was true though, you know, and I was it's so addictive, like when you're in that relationship. I knew when my boyfriend was extremely horrible to me, there was this little part of me, it was like, he's going to be really nice to you for 2 weeks after this. Yes.
That's kind of the definition of it, I would think. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's this little button went off. I was like, yes. I just have to deal with this for 15 more minutes and then he's going to feel bad for 2 weeks. Ah.
It's horrible.
It's definitely addictive.
You know. No.
Oh, so Eloise, you handle the lyrics and Tom, you write the music. So how does that kind of unfold? Does one kind of inspire the other, or does it happen at the same time or separately?
Well, I'd say a bit of both. We definitely go. I'll spend like a year writing my lyrics and collecting inspiration and sounds and things, and Tom will be up in Scotland writing the music portion, and then we finally come together once a year and throw each other's notes, and then see what works. I think. Tom, are you okay with me describing it like that?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's. I'll try and build a foundation of some kind, and just like basically like sketches, if it were, just do a bunch of sketches of songs, and then when I feel like there's enough there that we can kind of pick from and go to, we'll get together, and then that way, when we actually start collaborating with our lyrics and her listening to the sketches and where things can line up and everything. I've got a big enough reserve of stuff to pull from. But then I do feel like some of the best ones or the ones that we're most happiest with at the end of a session or the end of the album are the ones that kind of were the spontaneous ones that we just kind of actually just. It was like we'll get some in the bag and then we're like, oh, why don't we just do one crazy one like this, and then that ends up being our favorite one. So
Yeah.
I just make sure I've got enough like kind of foundation there that if like for whatever reason we don't get anything done, that there's something there.
Well, you're good at pre-planning. We like that. Very sensible. Now that we're in our mid-30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever reach over into each other's lanes and be like, yeah, tweak this lyric or, run this riff harder or yeah?
I'm constantly
Definitely.
like,
Yeah.
Tom, can you play it faster? Can it go faster? Is there any chance we go a little bit faster? And he's like, physically, absolutely not. And then Tom will be like, Eloise, maybe that lyric's a bit too on the nose, bit too personal, bit too obvious which X it's about. And I'm like, right on, right you are.
Yeah.
Does she surprise you sometimes with what she comes up with in terms of what goes with your music, or?
I don't know if it's surprise. I think it's one of those where I admire a lot of the stuff she comes up with because I can tell that it's rooted in some kind of real life thing. There's rarely anything she's written where I think, oh, she's just contriving a bunch of fancy words together or something to make something sound cool or deep. I know that there's a story behind every line. So,
Nice.
and it's not particularly, it's not, she's not masturbating the English language either. It's like, sometimes it's just, here's a line of what came to my head and that's it. Not trying to make it fancy. So.
Can't. Even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So when you kind of started with the Violence of Spring, did you kind of realize this was going to be a 4-season journey, or did that not happen till you moved on to Winter's Light?
I don't think we thought of a 4-season thing. I don't think
we
that was
did it.
conception.
Like we did it, and then we were like, "That was really fun. We should do that again." And then we were like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
all 4 seasons. Why not?"
Yeah, because I think the thing that came up with it was, as far as I recall, I remember Eloise said the Violence of Spring when we were kind of riffing on ideas and stuff, because I'm pretty sure we were talking about Lars von Trier film, what one, Antichrist.
Oh yeah.
And we're talking about how the film references a lot of the Violence of Spring, with the birds getting thrown from nests and animal births and such. So we and I think Eloise just sort of poignantly said, "Oh yeah, the Violence of Spring." I can't remember if that was before or after the conversation, but
Around the same.
yeah. And then I was just like, "Oh, that like we've got to call it that," That's brilliant. And then I think probably it was when we went on to the next record that we thought, hey, let's make it a season as well. And then that's how the concept started. I think the concept kind of started maybe leading up to the second record.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat that you chose spring first, and then, because that's kind of, the season of rebirth, and then you're gonna kind of end this with the season of death. So I think that worked out really well.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hadn't even considered that. I'm still really
Yeah.
struggling with what to call the autumn one.
I
or
know,
fall.
I know.
I'm really, really struggling. I feel like we've painted ourselves into a bit of a corner. I'm like,
Yeah,
the fall of myself. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Just go with autumn of your discontent. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also really difficult because I feel like autumn was so synonymous with like
Pumpkin
an
spice baby.
entire, yeah, but also like an entire sort of genre of metalcore for like a 5 year stretch in the early 2000s.
Yeah. We'll bring it back. It's fine.
After this, you could do holidays,
Yeah.
which are equally dark.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
But I had a light idea of doing a leap year,
Oh,
Ooh, yeah.
a leap or daylight savings or something like that.
Yeah, why not?
daylight savings is such a dark, dark time. I hate it when it happens. And we like to run. And all of a sudden, if we don't run right at 5, we're going to be in the dark. And then it gets to the
Yeah.
point we can't. And you just feel like it's midnight at 5. It's the worst. It's like a depression every year. Horrible.
I'm in bed just
Yeah.
consistently. I don't ever really get out of bed. I don't think it's worth it.
Who are you talking? The Finnish people, the Finnish band that says that it's dark for 6 months of the year.
No.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you do? He's like, you just don't go outside. You die if you go outside.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you get why the music's so miserable, but come on now.
Yeah.
Book a
It's
holiday to Spain.
proper hibernation.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I would totally. I can't imagine the amount of depression, the amount of whatchamacallit, Prozac isn't off the charts in that area. Lord,
Yeah.
that'd be a good one for you to explore too. I know it's a dark areas.
It's probably a lot of money in being a Finnish therapist, I would think.
Oh,
They're
that's
probably
actually
booked.
genius.
They're probably booked like months in advance, So
Yeah.
the couches are all worn out, Yeah.
Threadbare. Nice.
So I love what you chose for the cover art. It's kind of this, it looks like a block of ice that's barely holding on and just starting to melt, and it's doomed. Who was the hand model for that, and where did you kind of come up with the concept?
That was me. My friend Christian Flam did it, and he's like a successful artist in the art world, very contemporary. And I sort of drunkenly asked him one night if he felt like doing a record cover for us, and he was like, "Yeah, sure." Very German, very stoic. And then I went around to see him, and he had been working on various sizes of blocks of ice, which is
wow.
very sweet of him. So we just sort of drank some tequila and took lots of pictures of me holding ice cubes, and then he did the rest. It was great.
Were your hands freezing?
Yeah. Yeah, but I sometimes work as a hand model, so I'm quite used to it.
Yeah, that's an interesting gig. How do you get into being a hand model? Do you have to send hand shots or?
Well, I should be a face model, but as you get older, yeah, you'll take what job you're given, really.
That's great.
I work for a doctor, and we recently got this machine that's supposed to give you a lift under here.
Oh, hello.
And he was just like, "Do you want to try it?" I'm like, "Do you think I need it?" Great. That's a kind of a left-handed compliment. Great. Sure.
We're the
Yeah.
first one he thought of. Yeah, that's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hung out with my friends. She has her own, well, I don't know, surgeon, I guess is the word. And I think yeah, I don't know. They have a special relationship. Anyway, I've made the mistake of asking him, "What would you do?" And he went, "This." I was like, "Oh, okay, going back to bed now. Forget this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a relative that likes to give cosmetics to Stace for Christmas and for holidays and for birthdays, but they always come with a little editorial, this will really help with your crow's feet. This
Oh,
is good
piss
for your
off.
split ends. So it's like, could we just get the gift and not
Can I
the
just get
write
the
up,
money?
I don't need the we'll use it, fine, but don't need
No,
to point out that,
that's rude. I'd cut them off.
So I was interested to see that you guys are working with Kurt Ballou. Obviously he's got quite a resume. How did you come to work with him, and what were the sessions like?
Well, I've known Kurt for quite a few years just from being on the scene. And I sent him our first record just because we keep up to date with one another over email a fair bit. And then he asked if he could play guitar on some tracks, which we were very honored. I didn't send it with that intention, and I certainly didn't think he'd like it enough to suggest himself.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But we ended up, because obviously he's over there and we're over here, just sent him, I guess, like the rough sketches of what we had, and then he did his thing. He worked his magic.
Yeah. Yeah. Really something. Yeah.
It definitely gives a little edge to it. Can you think of any specific input or arrangement change that he made that you were like, oh wow, that was
Yeah,
different?
impressed by him.
He certainly kind of changed the kind of over. There was did like an ambient guitar and the opening track.
Yeah, the jingle
Um,
jangle.
yeah, the jingle jangle, as Eloise calls it.
Mhm.
Which just added a completely different like harmonic feel to it. Which at first I was like, oh, makes it so different, but then I could see what he was aiming to do with the sounds he was making. I was like, I like that, and then now I can't imagine it without it. Um, and then also he did like a Slayer style guitar solo at the start of one of the tracks, which I think getting that file emailed and dropping it into my DAW to mix and everything, it was like a kind of a made it moment for me personally.
You don't forget that, right?
I'm like, he sent me a file and I'm putting it in and I'm mixing it. I was like, wow, that's yeah. And he's doing like a Slayer riff. And okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
It's got to be an amazing moment. I love how you really kind of enjoy playing with sound words like summer ends, summer long gone. It kind of reminds me like Edgar Allan Poe, the way he liked to play with words, or son of scum, son of numb. I love that one too. It just reads to me like someone who generally loves sounds and nuances of language. When you're kind of coming up with things, do words kind of roll around in your head until they kind of come out a different way, or how does that process work?
Yes, definitely. I've always got notebooks and things on me, and if I find a word that I really like, or a couple of words that sound really pleasant together, then I'll constantly be writing sort of moderately deranged things all over the place. And then I'll sit down and be like, right, let's get your mental illness together and put these into usable sentences. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I used to hate reading poetry for like a very, very long time. I just thought it was rubbish. And big blanket statement. And I used to sell antique books as well, so I would deal in them. And then I think like 2 years ago, I just started reading them, and I was like, "This stuff's sick. What's wrong with me?" So that certainly helped, opening my mind a little bit. But yeah, I've definitely got no rhyme nor reason to it. It just sort of whatever I think sounds pretty good. Doesn't sound very mysterious or artistic, I will admit.
I think Edgar Allan Poe said cellar door was like the two most perfect words together. I'm like, I guess I can see that. I don't know how you arrived at that, but I like it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just got to roll out the mouth quite well, which is quite hard when you then have to go scream it because then nothing's rolling with any ease. But yeah.
You're always like the super confessionist poet like Sylvia Plath or Anne Sexton. Some of their imagery is like, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's got to be visual. It's got to. I like it if it evokes sensation. Not just sound. It has to sort of make you feel something, which I think is really easy to have that element of weather and season, because those are evocative things in themselves. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
it's I feel kind of fortunate because I often get the kind of the inside of some of the lines, like I'll have her little book, she'll give me her book, and it is literally sometimes you scroll through it and it's like just random sentences, and you're like, okay, what's this one about? But every single one has some sort of story to it. There's some kind of story or something around every line. So there's certain things that might, a listener or someone reading lyrics might just think is like just a benign sentence, but every sentence has something behind it.
That's really, I mean, that could be a whole book of poems right there.
Hmm. My therapist would love it.
I have to say I like looking at your Metal Archives profile because I feel like you confound that website. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes before they will allow a band in. It's ridiculous. The fact that it's just your two faces, it's very non-metal looking. And the way your lyrics are written, I could just see the background screaming, "They're indie rock. They're too indie. We can't let them in." Well, have you heard the music? Because it's metal. Like I love that. I love any band that I pull up their profile and I can just see the conflict in the background. Where are the bullet belts? Where are the skulls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we really like that picture. A lot of people compliment us on it because
It's great.
we were going for 80s sort of Tears for Fears. Yeah, I remember.
Again,
I
not
remember
Metal
vividly.
Archives at all. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually had to message Metal Archive because they uploaded a picture of me once, and I was like, "You fucking take that down right now. That is
Yeah.
embarrassing."
I can imagine them receiving it. Have you seen the picture that they just uploaded? I don't want anything to do with this. I'm not
Yeah.
putting my name on this, There were walkouts, etc. So
Yeah. Have you ever like had someone like be surprised when they hear your music when they see? Because even there's some promotional shots where it looks like you might be, a model for Chanel number 5 or something, and then
Thanks.
and and you might be the captain of a jet pilot, and they're just like, really, this is so cool.
yeah.
No, I think we've always like the juxtaposition, just because metal imagery can get pretty samey. I feel,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it's hard to stand out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It
Yeah, I
remind
mean,
me a
I
little
like
bit.
I like the, depending on the genre of music, I like the pageantry of some bands, and it's like they're this at the core, and then this is the dress up they have to like accompany that, like certain black metal bands and stuff. I like the theater of it all, but I think it's also like, with the kind of music we're kind of doing and the way we're doing it, and it's kind of just being authentically just, yeah, we're just a couple of nerds, like we're not really, there's no
We're
pageantry
still a
around
little
us.
bit silly. We're angry, but we're also quite silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys remind me a little bit of when we talked to George Purves from Spider God, because he is you would not imagine, looking at him and then what he ends up creating. It's like two different worlds. But he did a great thing. He does some metal covers too. He took Sabrina's XOXO Espresso and made it to a black metal song.
I haven't heard that one yet. I've only heard the first album that he did of covers, and that's pretty fantastic. Was it him? Oh no,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did a
yeah,
whole thing.
yeah. Fantastic. Love it.
We went down an
And
interesting road with him about Cambridge versus Oxford. Like, who's a bigger snob? It was so interesting. Like, again,
I
not what
love
you would
that.
expect in a
I
metal
don't
interview.
know. Tom, do you know? I don't think I do.
I don't know the ins and outs. I only know the.
Well, and in the US, we think about these things, so,
Yeah.
So, Eloise, with your vocal performances, it's somewhere between incantation, rant, collapse, outright confrontation. When you're recording, do you feel like you're stepping into a character, or does it come from someplace within, or does Tom have to make you really angry?
Well, Tom definitely doesn't make me angry, but I would say that I do have to get into a particular headspace. I do have to certainly feel the rage because it doesn't, come particularly easy to me, and I don't enjoy performing. I especially don't like having an audience. Usually I've got a blanket over my head when we're recording together, or I'm in a cupboard somewhere. And it helps me not get out of my head, basically. And then I can scream to my heart's content without feeling too judged, only to then record it and release it. So, but yeah, I mean, I think the more we've done it, the easier it's become for me. But certainly still not easy, of course. But yeah, no, it. I have to be in a pretty grumpy headspace. Yeah.
Yeah, like someone had wrote a review on your Bandcamp page where they said that your vocals make them want to take their skin off. I'm like, that's pretty.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
That's
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice. It means I've hit my target audience.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love Brushed by the Storm. That was the first one that really what a great opening to a record. It's more like a summoning than it just sets the stage. Was that built around some existing invocation, or did you already kind of make an entirely new spell to kind of start off the album?
You had that already, didn't you?
Yeah, I feel like we really wanted to experiment with something witchy.
Yeah, I actually remember the two things that influenced me the most for doing that was um the film The Witch, Robert Eggers' film, and that the kind of the sound design in that film, and then also the sort of Mongolian throat singing that was in the recent June films. Like it was basically those two things, and I was like, do something that has like a witch chant, but also has some like
Yes.
drony vocal as well, and try and just make it atmospheric. And then it's just kind of Eloise had her. I'm pretty sure you had those lyrics already written.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
it's very interesting because I just assumed they'd be some gurgle growls, and instead they're very, very well articulated.
Yeah. And that was for that record. That was the first thing we did. I think every record, the first thing we do before we try and do anything is make an intro song. So we just collaborate on an intro, and that kind of sets the tone, I think.
Yeah, start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does stick with you. I was heating up my lunch in the break room and I didn't realize anyone was behind me. I'm in there going, Brushed by the Storm. Blue. And I turned around, they're giving me a weird look. I'm like, I'm just blessing my lunch. It'll be fine. I love the Jacob Marley kind of chain dragging effect is what it reminded me of with all the clinks and clangs. How did you achieve that?
Most of those were actually there were samples. So I went to a big sample library of they're all basically orchestral anvils of different tones and sounds,
Nice.
and just put a bunch of reverb on it, and I will have my MIDI keyboard, and it would just be kind of playing along randomly to what feels right, just hearing the loose tempo of what we've got. There isn't an actual click tempo, but just doing that kind of like just cavemanish hand movements to be like, this feels nice. A big one there and a big one there,
Smaller one
and so
there.
yeah, try and steer away from too much sort of dragging and dropping, and make it more kind of actually using hands, and both of us sitting there and kind of might I might be doing something and just gaze over a little bit, and if I get in a sort of a approving smirk and kind of nod from Eloise like that sounded good, then I'm like, okay, good.
Oh, really, really effective. That's what it totally reminded of, was Jacob Marley dragging all his sins around forever. That's totally what came into my head.
Nice.
The fact that you use the word brushed, kind of the glancing blow type of use. Do you agonize over choosing the right word when you're putting these together? I mean, like, how hard was that particular one to come up with, or did you have other runners up? Or
Don't know.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
good because brushed kind of sounds like, you're damaged, but you survived. So I think it's effective.
Yeah, yeah, it's sort of again really like juxtaposition. I like the harshness of the word storm and the gentleness of the word brush. Like if I can ever get to like contradictory words or phrases together, then I'll definitely be going for that. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me actually that I think I did this with you, Eloise. There's the ambient artist Tim Hecker has one of his songs which is called Rainbow Blood, and he has a song at the end of the album called Blood Rainbow, and then I just think about the fact Rainbow Blood just seems so happy, like like if you were to bleed and it was a rainbow blood,
Right.
all the whereas like blood rainbow sounds disturbing and horrible. And then that I can't think. I've been trying to think of another two set of words that work as well as blood rainbow.
No.
I've never been to think of any two words that sound better than blood rainbow and rainbow blood.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's the
Yeah.
juxtaposition.
I
Yep.
like that a lot. It's
Yeah.
so much better than blood spray, or, that's so much more fun.
Yeah,
Too obvious.
yeah,
Like, I'm bleeding a rainbow. How bad can it be?
yeah.
I also really like Good Grief. What an absolute pummel of fest that is. I was shocked you didn't hurt yourself recording that one. It's a quick assault and battery. It's over quickly. On the other end of the spectrum, you have things like Dissidents, which really sprawl across multiple atmospheres. How do you know when a piece is done? Is it instinct, or do you just feel, okay, that song has said what it needs to do?
Yeah, I
Exhaustion.
think yeah. There's a lot of different versions of the same song, like kind of just if I went back and listened to all the demos of the same song, it's kind of I'll go and listen to them, and then it'll do something where I'm expecting it to do what it finally did. I listen to old demo and it'll suddenly do something else. I'm like, oh God, that doesn't work, you know. And I think it's that kind of thing of just doing something and then listening to it repeatedly, and then when it feels right enough, that I'm not getting that jarring sort of like, oh, that feels weird to me. That doing that drags out. And I think then when we put the vocals on and everything, that really glues it all together. And then we might tweak things here and there, but I think it's definitely it's like a ride. It sounds so typical to say of like, oh, it's a ride, but it's like if you went on to a theme park ride or roller coaster, and it starts off with all this and that, and then all of a sudden it's just going on straight, and you get bored, and then
Right.
it slowly takes you back. And you're like, I like the first bit, but the rest is just boring. It's like you kind of want it to be like there's that kind of right up until the end, you feel something.
When you guys are working on something, do you ever get to the point where you start to feel like it's, I don't want to say overwork, but you're getting to the point of diminishing returns where you're like overworking someone and you have to take a step back?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Like, how do you know? Like, how do you know?
I mean, I feel there's like always this point after recording where me and Tom will go to the shops or something to go get dinner. We'll just be like sing screaming parts of the same song over and over again because it's all we can hear really loudly
Yeah.
because we've just been exposed to it for so long. And it's that fine line between complete insanity, and you're like, I think we should just put a pin in it. Otherwise we'll just
Exactly,
keep going and we won't know when to fucking stop.
I think it's also just having that, you have to have that little like reflection time where you stop focusing on something and then step away from it and then go back and experience it again. And if it feels right, then it feels right. And if it doesn't, then you maybe just take a look at it again. But it definitely that you never know in the moment, like when we have a constrained amount of time to sort of work on the records, if we're booked a place for us to set up a recording studio, there's a finite amount of time, but then you've got that pressure and it all builds up and you don't know what's good anymore and what's not. And I think most of it comes afterwards where we kind of listen back on stuff with a bit of time and go,
have a break.
That's garbage. Let's get rid of that. Let's do something else.
Listen to the nicest music ever for a couple of months and then
yeah, exactly.
We had to do the opposite. We got his daughter wanted some Mazzy Star mixtape that we made her, and we were stuck in indie hell, and we couldn't get it out of our head, so we had to listen to Neurosis for 4 straight hours. He called it the Neurosis High Colonic. It covered.
Yeah. She wanted folk music or like indie rock from when we grew up. So, but unfortunately, those songs don't just jump out of your head. Like I had an Indigo Girl song in my head, and I can't be walking around singing that stuff. I mean, come on. So I put on like 5 hours of Neurosis, and it purged.
It got it out. You cleansed. A Neurosis cleanse.
I remember when I was really, really all about Neurosis. It was like the mid-90s, and I remember just sitting in a friend's house, and she had on some interview with I think it was Alanis Morissette, or it might have been Courtney Love, but it was Alanis Morissette. She was talking about how one of her songs she can't get through without crying. I was like, turn this off. I can't watch this. You can't get through the song that everyone knows all the lyrics to that are holding up lighters. Give me a break,
Yeah.
Turn this off. It's so ridiculous, it's just like,
I think we always have to be quite careful when we're recording, because sometimes we'll go off on a tangent and start just listening to like completely different genres of music that have nothing to do, which, in a way it can, add a little subtle influence here and there, but it takes you out of the headspace completely where we're just like, we end up
it's because we live really far apart. So when we do record, it often means we haven't seen each other for a while. So we get a bit excitable, and we're like, "Oh my god!" And then we'll go off and be like, "Oh shit, no, we're actually paying to do this. We should probably focus on the job at task."
No, it's probably very good and cathartic to go and listen to completely different. The problem is when you have to say, "All right, this is the third song that you added tiki drums to, so maybe." Not so many tiki drums, that's the fear where you're like, you get stuck on one particular sound because of something that you're listening to, and then you have to be each other's check and balance, I guess.
Yeah, I know. And then there's a lot of nostalgic stuff, we'll listen to stuff that we were heavily into when we were, like teenagers and stuff. And
that probably was the groundwork for what we listen to now, but I wouldn't confidently say Static X is my biggest inspiration. But when I'm with Tom, I'm like, let's pop it on.
We'll listen to like Static X so much when we're recording, just because it's like we just loved it when we were teenagers,
and it's not threatening.
We just saw them. They came, of course, with Dope here in Baltimore, and there's a really cool venue around here, and they have kind of an upper deck where you can go to, and I'm short, so I want to be up there, and they had bubbles going, they had monsters on stage. We lost our minds. It was just
who's singing? I'm out.
It's the singer from Dope, except he won't admit that it's him because he has on the robot mask.
He's called Zero.
Oh, Zero. Right.
And for the last album, he apparently found a whole bunch of Wayne's stuff that he had left behind, and it was half recorded, and that's how he made the new album. But it was good. It was
That's really nice.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's
Yeah, we
brilliant.
love it too. We love it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. And live, they still sound great. So it's cool that that music survives.
He sounds so much like him. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like and it's just such a unique sound that he has as well. So I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
I was trying to live stream, but of course I had had a couple drinks by that point. By the time we got for Blood for Days, I'm live streaming, but all you can hear is me singing. It's like, oh my God.
I love it when I film a band and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we were having a really good time at this point, right? Yeah.
And the jumping, so it's like the whole thing is going.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
look
good
at
show.
Static X. How can you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a pogo band, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, anyway, going back to Good Grief, is there any Charlie Brown connection? Because the whole song is so mad. I thought maybe he finally lost it because Lucy pulled the ball away for the millionth time.
Honestly, I don't think I'd ever consider that. I think I've heard the phrase good grief a lot in my life. I think it's quite British. I've certainly heard like my grandma say it, like if she drops something, she'd be like, oh, good grief. And it is about a friend who passed away. So it is about the grief experience. And it was sort of, I put off writing anything about her for a very long time. And then it felt right. And again, it's sort of obscure enough for it to not be too, I don't know, obvious maybe. And I'd rather it be about Charlie Brown, I think. But yeah, no, I also found out recently, I think there's a Paramore song called Good Grief. So that was a bit disappointing. I didn't do my research.
Yeah, once again, you have those two words, though. I mean, good and grief seem like they would not go together.
I'm very two-dimensional, it turns out.
Also, love the video for that one.
Yeah. I was going to ask her about that. Yeah. So, first of all, it turned out great the way that you have the water, you in the water, and then it goes back and forth with the
kind
the
of
guitars and the drums, and it's a great effect. But I always tend to do this when I watch a video, and I get the impression that there was a part that required someone to be uncomfortable for a certain amount of time. So I have to ask you, how long were you in the water, and what was it like?
Were you
And were you freezing? Like if I see a video and someone's like up on a cross, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to ask about that. That sort of thing. So no.
Well, I was with my friend in Sardinia, and we were on holiday, and he is predominantly a documentary filmmaker, and I don't know how to say. I've mentioned drinking too many times. People can think I have a problem. We were drunk, okay, and it was quite late at night, and we were by this dock. So he was like, "Why don't you throw a gown on and jump in the water, and we'll film it, and that can be a music video." So we did exactly that, which I don't recommend drunk. That was very, very reckless on our part.
That is very reckless. Yeah.
But it was in like a really, really like probably very polluted dock in Sardinia, where like all these huge boats would pull up into, and there was a couple on a date, like legs dangling into the water, and I'm sort of thrashing around a bit shit-faced, and Mike's like, more, yeah, love it. And then I sent it to Tom, and I was like, I don't really know if any of this is usable, but I had a fun time. Dress is ruined, of course, and then Tom, who's a wizard, managed to make something with it, and then filmed his bit in Scotland, my bit Sardinia, and exactly like how we make our music.
That is such a great story.
Yeah.
I liked how you did the kind of the up close of you banging out the drums. I thought that was really well done to just kind of have it rack focused in.
Yeah. I think it's just that I try and focus things in close for myself. I try not to include my face in a lot of things, so that's probably why.
You should.
You see, that's why I could never be like a filmmaker like your friend in Sardinia, because I would be so filming. Look at the reactions of these people. Look at the disgust on this woman's face that you jumped in the water. Like I'm looking
Yeah.
around at all the reactions. I would miss the actual action of you in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
true.
couldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we have an inner harbor here in Baltimore,
Oh,
and
it's
it's
the worst.
notoriously disgusting.
Yeah.
And every now and then they'll fish a body out of it, and I'm like,
Oh,
what a horrible way to go.
It's
Ugh.
probably got like all kinds of discarded guns, handguns at the bottom of it from people that murdered and threw it, into the
Get a big
water.
magnet. I've always wanted to go magnet fishing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee there's a lot down there. Yeah. Going back decades. Yeah.
It cracked me up when my daughter wanted to get married. She wanted to get married on a dock like overlooking the Domino sugar plant. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
She has a vision. It's nice.
Yeah.
And this was weird, of course. They were calling for rain that day, and I didn't even know you could do this. She went on Etsy and bought a spell from a witch for good weather.
Did it work?
It did. It rained before the ceremony, stopped the whole time we did it. We were literally processing in and it started raining again. I'm like, okay, that was weird.
All
How
right,
much does a
I'm
spell
gonna
go
need
for?
her number.
Well, if it hadn't, she would have had to get her $17 back. So, so,
I mean, you could buy a witch on Etsy. This is a whole new
don't
world.
get me started. Um,
So also love Wolfing the Lamb the
Lamb.
Mutton. Oh
Yeah.
my God, what a great one. I love how you sync the kick drum with the chanted words. It literally creates a physical texture that's like percussive language. Did it feel as good to record that as it is to hear it?
like the crescendos of it, I guess.
It sure does. It feels great to hear. So I was like, it must have felt great to record it.
Is Tom there? I feel like
Yes.
he's disappeared. Okay, good. Tom, you answer that one. You did the drums. This is on you.
Well, you recorded the vocals.
Eh.
Yeah, I think that one was just we wanted to just do something that was really chaotic and we love industrial music, but we don't really we just have hints of industrial sounds here and there rather than being a purely industrial band. And but that one I think we just kind of wanted to really throw a lot in there and it just be very primal and everything. And then I think Eloise actually has a very especially when she whispers and talks, she's got a very soft voice. So I guess it's just a juxtaposition again of the screaming and the whispering and all that. So yeah, I thought it worked well.
Yeah, I liked it.
I like the term because if you Google it, of course, it's not a real idiom, but it feels like it should be. I thought maybe it was some old idiom like wolves in sheep's clothing or something like that. But it's like really neat to put kind of all that together. It seems like somewhere violent and somewhere maybe yummy too.
Ooh, I like that. Yummy. Okay.
Yeah, what was Wolfing the Lamb the Mutton? What was
I was thinking about how older women often get called lamb dressed as mutton, to imply that they're still trying to hold on to their youth or something. And then wolfing is obviously you can consume something and it's a wolf. And so I just sort of merged the two. I wish I had something more intelligent to say, but I like the idea. It's sort of quite literal in the sense that you would wolf down mutton, but also the concept of this nasty perception on women aging.
Yeah, it's true. Linda Hamilton got a lot of flack because she was just in Stranger Things because she hasn't had work done. But it's like this double-edged sword. It's like either, oh, she's had work done, or you should have work done. I mean, you can't win.
I know, I know. I mean, I think we're taking a turn, and people are going to actually lose the filler because we need a bit more expression now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't all be Botox faces and you try to smile and your whole face breaks.
Yeah, I can't. I'm terrified of needles, so it's never going to happen. Yeah.
Also in Dissidence, I love the guitar tone and absolutely 100% sounds like a circular saw chewing through something. Maybe a dead body, I don't know. How did you create that?
That is that was a guitar amp plugin, and I'd always been hunting around for an amp plugin that recreated like the Sun amps, um, and never really I came across any of them, and I'd always try and do that sound because I'd played one of those amps live before when I was playing in a support band at a gig, and bass player had a Sun amp, and I used one first time, and this thing's just a beast. It is like a piece of industrial equipment, the sound it makes and the drone. And then I ended up discovering this one on the internet, and I was like, oh, I'll try this out. And then as soon as I played through it, I was like, this is it. This is the sound. I just kind of beefed it up a bit with layers and layers of other guitars and everything. But that was the basis, was that Sun amp drone, which was perfectly recreated through this plugin. But yeah, that was the vibe for that, was just that kind of doom wall of noise.
Yeah, it's really effective. There's so many layers on Dissidence as it builds. Do you have any idea the number of layers that you built to by the crescendo?
There's a lot. There's a lot of guitar tracks on that one. There's, I think I was just kind of delving back into all the various post-rock techniques that I had maybe figured out years and over the years. Just layering high guitars and little twangly guitars here and extra low bass synths and everything. I think the last time I opened the project, I was actually listening to all the layers, and I think there was probably something like stereo, so individual tracks was probably about like 15 guitars in total or something.
Wow.
And they all just kind of, if you were listening to all of them individually, you can't really hear them in the mix. You can hear the kind of the bass root notes of like kind of just the slow kind of changing of the notes, but all the layers intertwining are just kind of creating this kind of harmonic wall of noise.
Cool.
I also like the white noise at the end. I was in between whether it was being on a jet plane or that thing outside your therapist office so no one else can hear you that makes the white noise.
We love the white noise. I think the white noise it's kind of just, I always think of it as just tinnitus, It's
Yeah.
like
we both have tinnitus, and we both like to just try and recreate it.
yeah, it's that kind of thing at the end of anything that's been loud and intense, and then you sit in a quiet room and you have just that white noise. So it's just kind of putting that at the end of the song is just kind of to, I guess, emulate what tinnitus feels like.
That's funny.
I had my first child she would scream from 6 to 9 at night no matter what you did. She was horrible and she never slept. And I found one of the ways I could calm her down was put her in like her little seat and turn the dryer on. That seemed to like chill her out. I was like, okay, but that worked.
Yeah.
That's a nice warm sound, I guess, I like that. I could probably conk myself out to that.
I had my
Or
first
one-
experience lately with it came up on YouTube randomly, but it was those like the bells. I can't
Oh, the
remember.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember I think it was the bells or the things that roll around the
Yeah.
bowls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of left it on just because it auto played, and I just sat through the whole thing, and I was like, "This is brilliant!" It's like just this resonance. It's lovely.
Next
Yeah.
album will be a sound bath. That's what we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah.
You want to do our
Yeah. All right. So we play a game on the show. I think you guys will like it. It's called Blaspheming Monikers. Okay. And here's how it works. Okay. So we have 5 band names in front of me on this envelope. One of them is not a real band. One of them is made up. So see if you guys can guess which one of these is a fake band name. Okay.
Okay, all right, I'm in.
Okay. Okay. All right. King Fungus, Vampiric. Wait a minute. Hang on. Vampiric Witch King. All right. So King Fungus, Vampiric Witch King, Alan King Project, the King Nosmo, and Baboon King. Well, I'll read through them again because I kind of fucked that up. Hold on. All right. So King Fungus, Vampiric Witch King, Alan King Project, the King Nosmo, and Bamboo King.
Oh. The Alan King project made me think that you're saying Alan Key. So by proxy, I dislike it. I dislike it as a name, but is it real? Ooh. I'm gonna say Alan King project, just because.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think Alan King Project. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a real one. It's
Damn
a guy
it.
from Omaha, Nebraska. It's
Sorry,
symphonic
Alan.
metal, and he wears top hats. So that's, that whole
Okay.
vibe. Yeah.
maybe the King Diamond thing. I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far. No corpse
think-
paint, just the hat. And when I saw Nebraska, I was like, okay. Yeah. The home
Oh.
of Dickens, obviously, right? So,
Okay, maybe the bamboo one then.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
think the fungus one's got to be real.
Yeah, I feel strongly about the fungus one.
Yeah, I think
All right,
fungus is
so you
real.
think the Baboon King is fake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Okay, they're real. It's a doom band from New Zealand. It's one guy. He has 4 EPs, and this is interesting. Status unknown, which to me is always like, are you like not speaking to yourself? It's one man, right? I mean,
I wonder how
love
one man
that.
band could
or
split
like
up.
broken up, one man. How are you
Oh,
broken
that-
up?
I think
you
he's
know.
just really in touch with himself.
Right. I've been listening to a lot of ELO lately. I'm not going to be doing black metal anymore. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to hear which one was fake? I can tell you.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed doing this one. Okay, the one that was fake was the King Nosmo. That's fake. And there's a story behind it.
Okay.
There was this woman that my mother knew who was not very smart. And she was talking about, she named her child Nosmo King, right? I swear this actually happened in Baltimore City. And she was talking one day about how she came up with that name. And she said, it just appeared at the hospital. I looked up and it said that my son was the Nosmo King. It said no smoking. And this child didn't realize until he was like 30 that that's what it was. So,
No,
so that's
okay.
where the King
That has to
Nosmo
be a
came
thing
from.
now. That's so good.
You were the
I love-
Nosmo
King.
King because you were underneath this no smoking sign in the hospital. So, yeah.
Oh,
In 1975 or whatever. Yeah. So.
I love
That's
it.
pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool.
That needs to be a t-shirt or something. Someone needs to
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
with
So,
that.
I was putting this together, all the King names, and I thought, can I weave the Nosmo King story into
You
this?
nailed it. You nailed it.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
10 out of
Kudos to
10.
me. I
nailed
got
it.
it done. There you go. So,
Yeah,
anyway,
it stayed completely incognito the whole time.
it's great.
So you guys seem to have made it to a lot of top album lists for 2025. When you were thinking about this originally, did you realize what a great nugget you had brewing here, or were you surprised by the general outpouring of positive reaction?
I'm very, very surprised.
I'm always surprised. I'm surprised that anyone listens to us. Even if we've got
Yeah.
one listener, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
For you guys this year, what might be on your top of the list for 2025 from other projects that you might be
Not just metal, like any type of music. Yeah.
As in, what's our top picks from 2025?
Yes.
Just a couple, yeah.
Crippling alcoholism is one that always pops to mind as like stuff that made me go, "Ooh, wow, yeah, I like that a lot." Haven't felt excited like that for a while. I also think, Daughters got cancelled, and it's nice to have a replacement.
Yeah.
You can listen to it without feeling bad. It's quite good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else came out. Tom, got anything?
Honestly, the one of the things that I don't even know if it was 2025 it came out or not, but the one thing that grabbed me the most was actually the most recent Kings of Leon album.
Oh, hello.
Okay.
Yeah, loved it.
What?
That was surprising to hear that.
Yeah, didn't have to be Mel.
Yeah.
No, you never know what's going to come
We
down.
made a joke about it on the show one time, but I remember this interview with Alex Lifeson. It was like early 90s. And they said, what are you listening to that people would be surprised? And he got mad and he goes, this Ace of Base business should be against the law. Like, like he was angry that he couldn't get it out of his head. It was funny,
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
It's
I think
hard.
that's the
As soon as
thing. A
someone
lot.
asks you, like, what do you like? What do you really enjoy? I'm like, I've forgotten everything.
Oh,
I hate
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I kind of I think also that I inadvertently kind of consume music in a different way now as well, because
Yeah.
it gets fed to me in a different way than it used to, especially when you used to go out and buy records. That was the only way to get, from a store. There's no streaming or anything like that. I feel like with the streaming now and algorithms and everything, sometimes I don't feel like I'm choosing what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels also just
but-
so disposable. It doesn't feel special anymore a lot of the time.
Yeah.
If you're going to give it your time anyway.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, though, I get
Um,
the damn you, Spotify. You know me so well. Every once in a while,
Yeah.
they'll send me something and I'll be like, God damn it, this is
Yeah.
right
I'll
up
be like, I
my
love
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like so predictable, but yeah, it's sometimes.
Yeah. But there's a lot of pollution, I think, with because we all use our phones. Everything has sound.
Yeah.
There's always nuggets of people on Instagram. They'll have, for those 5 seconds that you visit their post, they're like, you have to listen to this song. Now you have to listen to this song. Now there's a bit of this song. So it's like, and a lot of the time they've got strong hooks. So you've got these hooks going around in your head. These all these different songs. Like pop songs or old retrospective songs that are really hooky. And then so they kind of just they sit in your brain and kind of pollute a little bit. So when I'm thinking there, okay, what I've been listening to, all I can think of is the repetitive things that have been kind of fed to me, rather than like what I was my choice.
You need the neurosis hycolonic. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neurosis colonic. That could be a business.
Yeah.
We'll reset all of your musical taste. Yeah. So.
We had a much harder time. We do this show, the Extreme, and then we do a rock and roll show. Rock and roll show was very easy for me to pick. The Extreme, there was so much good stuff this year. We were like squabbling over who should be on it. It was crazy.
Yeah, I got down to the point where I was like, all right, it should sound like when you flip a brick over and there's like things underneath squirming. If it doesn't have that, then it's probably not going to be in the top 10. Like that's kind of I know that's really weird, but there was a lot of that kind of stuff that was really good for us this year. So
yeah, no, I think it was a good year for music. My brain's just gone completely numb though, so I can't remember anything.
No, I like when you get put on the spot like that, I know.
Yeah.
So, have you guys ever thought about taking this on the road and what it might look like, and
what your costumes are going to be?
What your costumes would be like? And Tom, what instrument would you man if you had to have some session musicians filling in for other stuff?
I definitely guitar. I would do guitar for sure. I don't think I could play the drums for those. I'd do a set of those drums or anything. No chance. But yeah, I think like we think about it and talk about it. It's almost a little bit like that's a whole other level of commitment and dedication, to be a touring band, especially a touring band. So it's that kind of thing. We talk about it. We're like, oh, we could do like a one-off show here and there, maybe sometime. But it's just finding people that are willing to also learn the songs and play them with us. And anytime we get a hint of, someone might suggest they would like to play something with us or whatever. It's never had a perfect like 4 other people walk in at the same time and say, "Hey, we're ready to go."
Right.
And because we're not really kind of pushing for it, it's not really happened. But
On our radar,
I think
yeah.
it's a never say never kind of situation.
Yeah.
I
I'd also
think the
probably
lineup.
form under a blanket or something because
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
that's costume again. It's fine.
yeah,
We
exactly.
could at least get you a Holocaust cloak or something.
Yeah, something cozy.
Yeah, I'll get like an article from the new issue of louder.com or whatever, and I'll send the screenshot to Stacey. I'll be like, look, every band has a costume. It's just like every single band has masks now. It's just such a gimmick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want masks. We're not doing masks.
Or you could
I
do like
know.
Wolves in the Throne Room. When they went to see them, they were lit in such a way you couldn't see anybody's face. I looked at
Yeah.
him, I said, I might go to the bathroom later and trip over the guitarist, and I would have no idea. You can't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not like Sun. And even Sisters of
yeah,
Mercy. It was fun watching them. No, it could have been anyone. Love that.
yeah,
Well, I remember like that the article I was telling you about. When I sent it to her, I was scrolling down. It was all these mask bands, and I came at the bottom. There's a picture of these guys in t-shirts and jeans, and I was like, "Oh my God, who are these?" They were making fun of Nickelback. I was like, "Okay,
Oh.
never mind. That's not what I was after." But
I do remember actually one of the talking about the plain clothes thing. I remember I went to see it was like one of those like a awakening moments for me. I can't remember what year it would have been, about 2002 or 2003 or something. And I had tickets to go and see System of a Down, and they were playing in Glasgow in the Barrowland, and the support band was Dillinger Escape Plan.
oh
And
wow, yeah,
I remember it would have been just after they released Calculating Infinity, or just before they released the second album. And I had heard one of their songs on like a Relapse compilation that I had, but I had no idea what they looked like, nothing. I just presumed they looked like all the other Relapse bands. And I remember seeing them play and being like, wow, they're wearing normal clothes. And and they're going crazy. They're playing this wild music. And that was like a really profound sort of moment for me, seeing these kind of just ordinary dressed guys just playing really intense music.
yeah. It's as soon as you say that, my underground brain says, no, it should be flip flop. They should be carrying the instruments for Dillinger Escape Plan and not the other way around.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
should have been headlining.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
right
yeah,
away.
yeah.
That's my first thought.
I know. Yeah, but I mean, they played like everyone didn't want them there because there was people that didn't like them because they maybe a lot of people like maybe the softer side of System of a Down. Yeah. But they kind of, it was also them using that negative energy to their like harnessing that negative energy that was in the room as well, which made it even more intense.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So when listeners finish Summer Ends, what do you hope lingers longest? The aggression, the unease, or the strange sense of catharsis once the damage is done?
That's quite a question. Yeah.
I mean, unease always, first and foremost. But I've enjoyed interacting with the people who listen to us and how they do find it cathartic. They're usually like, "Are you guys all right?" And also, I can really relate. And I'm like, "Yay, that was exactly what we wanted. We've nailed it." So that definitely for me.
Yeah, I think it's the catharsis. I think like it's that kind of thing where with extreme music, I don't really want to like unsettle people that don't understand it or don't grasp it, and it's not, it might be like in that provocative way where like this whole kind of the old idea that like metal music was to like, scare people, and blow the socks off of people. It's like I don't really want to do that. I just want people that kind of
have been unsettled.
Yeah,
They
the people that
understand being unsettled.
Yeah, it's like people already understand it and then can take something from it. And if there's a riff or a section or lyrics or whatever that makes them kind of go, oh, and they get any sense of catharsis from it. It's like you're talking about Neurosis. Like Neurosis are that kind of band for me where I can put them on and anyone could be walking by and I want to be like, oh, you listen to this bit, and like, oh, that isn't that just, oh, and like, it's that. I just want people that understand it to do that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Have you had any really off-kilter reactions where people have said, Trauma Bond is the only thing that puts my baby to sleep? Have you had anything like that? I mean,
ooh, I don't think so. I think just the sort of mildly mentally ill all coming together.
Well, that's the miracle. That's the miracle of the internet, is that I've heard that from people, that you'll hear stuff like that. Not what you were going for at all, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we really enjoyed it. Can't wait for more. And you never know. Black Braid said he was never going to take it on the road. He took it on the road.
That's right. That's right. You never know. So
you never know. We're not ruling it out, but
like I also really appreciated and enjoyed listening to your review of the records as well. I think
that was this one. She read it. Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
It was one of the more in-depth ones. Really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It almost becomes like in its own way, it's like a little form of ASMR. You get a little bit of tingle from it, when someone has looked in depth at something that you think is just an obtuse thing you've created, and that it's nice. So
yeah.
I hope it came through how much I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I told you it was a good one. Told you it was a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for a cup of Joe with Mark and Stace. It was very nice. Yeah.
The sounds of decay!
Okay, Sounds of Decay 1 is the new album from Kosuke Hashida, Moment of Silence. We all have those reality check moments where we may need other people around us to verify if what we're feeling is accurate. It's not something we typically do in mixed company either. None of us want to feel judged. But with the right group of friends, we may find ourselves asking more generic questions like, is it me, or are they taking a really long time with our order? Of course, the closer you are to your inner circle, the more observations you can float. Is it me, or is there an awful lot of shaving cream in Bob's garage? I mean, the fact that shaving cream is being kept in a garage is kind of a giveaway in itself. Then you may get down to those observations that you'll only say around a select few. Is it me, or does Ben know a lot about the movie Flashdance? Is it me, or does Rodney talk about Chick-fil-A sauce way too much? And finally, is it me, or does Jack's wife look like Edgar Winter?
Personally, my latest Is It Me pertains to the latest jewel in the horror, gore, pain, death catalog, Tokyo-based grindcore polymath Kosuke Hashida. This slight-looking one-man wrecking crew grabbed eardrums and eyeballs a couple years ago with his Justifiable Homicide debut, and again last year with the 20-minute juggernaut Outrage. At this point, I find myself saying, is it me? Or is this dude like a riff Pez dispenser? This is mainly due to the fact that his latest and greatest full-length, Moment of Silence, is serving as the third installment of quality riff-dense grind from this Japanese upstart. It really says a lot how hard this thing hits, because I am going through this weird phase where I am obsessed with gurgly doom death that changes chords twice an hour, or stuff so technical they have to wear the guitar at chin level to pull it off. Hashida is nowhere near either camp, busting out 1 to 2 minute bits of hyperspeed percussion, circle pit-friendly tempo changes, and a treasure chest of riffs of the Pig Destroyer variety. Each track seems to offer its own earwormish treat, whether it's hard panning, a spastic tempo change, or most often a riff from the war chest for maximum head-banging delight. Let's play a clip. This is Mind Dead.
The whole thing is like one 20-minute standout track, but zooming in a bit further, we would be remiss not to mention a few by name. For example, Secularization is one of the disc's longer tracks, approaching the 2-minute mark and bouncing along on a beefed-up D-beat style pulse, main riff flitting in and out of channels until the halfway mark, where a bona fide Slayer circa 86 riff appears and grooves just long enough for you to spill your plate of nachos. Blood Boost follows a similar pattern, with drums ticking and blasting against Hashida's no-frills hardcore bark, bouncing and rattling along, demonstrating his syllabic economy. In other words, lyrics are a few choice words as opposed to a manifesto. But once again, he pulls out a flash rock and riff just once you've settled that wouldn't feel out of place on a Carcass record. Finally, there's Scorched Earth, which warms up a punishing mid-tempo pulse sounding like your favorite 80s hardcore record ever so briefly before the pace shifts back to the lickety-split max violence mode, peppering the proceedings with some more hard pan starts and stops for good measure.
Is it me, or is this starting to sound like a track-by-track review? Heavens me, we wouldn't want that. Suffice to say, in the short space of 3 years, this young man has moved from total obscurity to one of the genre's most exciting and consistent artists. So get yourself over to the HGPD Bandcamp page, which should be already one of your bookmarks, and grab one of these limited run CDs before they're all gone. And hey, is it me, or does the guy on the cover look like the dude from Law Abiding Citizen? Let's play a clip. This is Blood Boost. Sounds of Decay 2. This is Coscradh, carving a causeway to the Otherworld. The word Coscradh comes from Old Irish, describing a druidic war, specifically the kind of lopsided landslide slaughter where the underdogs don't miraculously carry the day. Think Bad News Bears energy if the bears were ritualistically annihilated beneath pagan skies.
Yeah, I don't think the ratings on a baseball show would do that well in that regard.
The term also carries connotations of being heart-rending, shattering, and agonizing meanings that Coscradh embodies with frightening precision. My own Irish heritage led me to study modern Irish literature in college, where I encountered a far more recent, yet no less epic Irish saga in Frank McCourt's Angela's Ashes.
From its opening line, and above all, we were wet, McCourt immerses the reader in hunger, dampness, illness, coal scavenged from streets, and an ever-present shadow of disease. The specters there are an onslaught of dead babies, broken families, and grinding poverty. It's a story rooted not in myth, but in survival. Coscradh inhabits a similar twilight between worlds, though theirs is drenched in cold, cruel radiance rather than rain and chronic red eyes. Where McCourt charts the slow erosion of innocence in Limerick's gutters and tenements, Coscradh channels Ireland's ancient mysticism, conjuring blood-soaked rites and the fury of the Druidic eye. Both works are forged in dark times, but instead of McCourt building a bridge to America, Coscradh constructs a causeway to the Otherworld. In this sophomore full-length across these 8 tracks, the quartet resurrects ancestral violence and spiritual terror with savage intent. Runtimes vary wildly, most sprawled across the 6 to 8 minute range, while the closer stretches past 9.5 minutes. The shortest track serves as a brief palate cleanser of wind chimes, tinkles, and ominous synths, barely a minute long before plunging the listener back into the ritualized chaos.
A killer track right out of the gate is Scythe of Saturn, capturing Father Time in full reaping mode. It opens with riffs grinding a hole straight through the floorboards, while Buban Bobinar's blast beats knock the finish clean off them. A touch of hard panning briefly separates guitar and drums, but it's only seconds later. They're back in the ring together, both on offense, no defense. A blinding onslaught of punches landed like rock'em sock'em robots. Jason Keen's guitar suddenly erupts into rapid-fire runs, with more noodles than a Raymond variety pack, as the drums continue to detonate like live charges. The guitars briefly settle, heaving in slower, shaky breaths. Hick OE's bass shifts into view, gritty as a pestle in a mortar bowl, grinding everything down with heavy, deliberate strokes.
Kieran O'Creadon's vocals arrive as acidulated grunt shrieks, the sound of hellspawn towed directly from the bog. Boobnar eases the percussive assault just a fraction, the riffs dropping their grind into something slower and heavier, only for O'Creadon to bark the whole thing back into a frenzy. Keen then jets off his time, a wah-trembling solo, like a specter's cry. From there, everything goes feral. Vocals pile on top of screaming guitars and massive kick drum strikes, like they should be penalized for dogpiling the riff. One wrong Jenga block gets pulled, and the entire structure collapses inward with an anguished howl. Let's hear a little of Scythe of Saturn.
D. Goak, which Google Translate roughly, lands at worshipping the bloodthirsty war god machine, attacks at dawn with no intro and definitely no mercy. Coscradh just kicks the door in. Riffs roll in heavy like war cannon wheels, a hooky descent on repeat that will get pits churning. Boban Boobjanar unleashes blast beats the way archers unloose arrows, wave after wave of death falling without end. Hick OE's bass seeps in underneath, dripping thick low-end chord shrugs that feel heavy and coagulated like congealed blood. Kieran O'Creadon's croak turns especially sinister here, stretching end notes just long enough to twist the knife, never straying far from a full-throated scream.
Between Kieran's croaks and Boobnar's blast beats, you've got a winner on your hands here.
A lot of alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
Riffs whirl like a dervish, while Boobjanar blast rolls and crashes cymbals in a rampage, like he's yelling, "Look, Mom, no brakes!" A guitar briefly cries out over the chaos, only to be immediately swallowed by the cacophony. Mid-track, the vocals take on a chant-like cadence as the full-throttle guitar grind assault mutates into something closer to a shrieking bottle rocket. Guitar notes sear loose and take flight before settling into a doom rattle, locked horn to horn with a percussive onslaught. Jason Keen then shreds us a new one with a solo packing notes tighter than me, stuffing 45 outfits into a suitcase for a 3-day vacation. O'Creadon lets a howl rip as the track staggers toward the finish, the final guitar notes stumbling home drunk.
I think my favorite track on the record might be Bad Ha's Shadows. This one starts by carjacking your brain, instant riffage, flipping ear to ear like an irate hornet, punctuated by Boban Boobnar's kick drum thunder. It quickly mutates into greyhound racing speed before downshifting into a doom-paced lurch, only to vault right back into open throttle between verses. The guitars temper themselves here, mirroring the gnarl in Kieran O'Creadon's vocal fry as the shadowy echo layers creep in and start to breathe. Hick OE's bass locks in a repeated, sinewy strut, dialed way up beneath brisk, descending guitar tones on repeat, more show-stopping than a Riverdance tour, and a significantly more Wall of Death adjacent. Mid-track, the guitars jump to a higher, more anxious register, just as Bubnar's snare turns into a ludicrously fast whip crack. It catches fire and explodes into blast beats, the riffs matching that urgency like they've been fueled by far too many double espresso shots, tangling themselves into a blistering blur. Out of the chaos, a rising solo is born, pure in tone, striking like a cool breeze cutting through the stagnant day. The mix muddies again, tension cooling back in, and then that plaintive solo breaks free one last time before the entire track slowly implodes, collapsing inward under its own weight.
Carving the Causeway to the Otherworld is not just Coscrahd's most focused statement to date. It's a record that feels stained with soil blood and starlit violence over 3,000 years old. Perhaps instead of my tear-marked copy of Angela's Ashes, this was the grittier history I was really searching for. Not survival under rain and hunger, but something colder and older, etched in conquest, resistance, and ritual. Tracks like Caesar's Revelation draw directly from quite a different text, namely as the band points to Book 4, verses 14 through 15 and 16, where Julius Caesar documents the spiritual and martial power of the Druids. This band honors the old spirits, and more importantly, they reopen the path. Fans of Inquisition-style vocals, blasphemy, and the scorched earth savagely of bestial warlust should start warming up the war drums now. We can learn a great deal from Frank McCourt about endurance and hardship, but we learn even more from Gaelic warriors and druided rites that forged the fire in the first place. Let's play a song. This is Büddhah's Shadows.
Okay, Sounds of Decay 3 is the new album from Büddah, Amyotrophy.
Enlightened thrash metal is a sort of homemade genred label that is becoming more and more interesting as the genre continues to evolve away from gas mask and mushroom cloud cliches into something completely other, and bands like Frightful, Mayhemic, and Oxygen Destroyer are just a few examples of the monikers keeping the classic sound alive while making it fresh and interesting with their own nuances. Centered around mainstay vocalist Jelen Shuda, the Polish moniker Büddah may win the award for the most lineup changes within a relatively short existence, as their Metal Archives profile shows no less than 5 guitarists, 2 bass players, and 3 drummers have come and gone since the band's formation in 2021. Even so, based on the variety of exciting sounds and unique approaches to be found in their latest offering on the Gods of War label, Amyotrophy, I'm cautiously optimistic that Jalen has finally hit the pay dirt he's been striving for over the last 5 years.
9 songs on the album cover 40 minutes, and it's an interesting assortment of longer epics, quick strikes, and 45-minute regulars. The album is bookended by the tracks Amyotrophy 1 and 2, song and album named for a painful diabetic condition marked by the progressive wasting of muscle tissue. The opening track wastes no time, bounding from the speakers at a full-on thrash tempo, frosted with Schutta's rich Euro-style rasp, and the lyrics share more with a concept of intense waterboarding than any type of debilitating disease. But what's most impressive about this track is the full-on bass solo from Marek Gross that steals the show around the 2-minute mark. Let's have a listen. This is a bit of Amyotrophy 1.
Balfane is another interesting take on a familiar sound, kicking off with a didgeridoo adjacent hum introducing a groovy mid-tempo pace. At this point, the trade-off between Merrick's interwoven guitar and bass seem a bedrock of the album's sound, and this track does a great job of showcasing both, between his mathy burbles rising from the mix to the dramatic, sweet-picked lead that picks up the song's back half intensity several levels. Fiend blasts away on a D-beat style pulse, a canvas for Shuda to stretch out with his Leonite low-end and guttural vocal bursts. Lyrically, it seems to speak to the drug culture with lines like history written in drops of heroin and rehab, salvation which has never occurred. Again, this is an interesting band that seemingly eschews typical lyrical themes for something just slightly different without compromising intensity.
Amyotrophy 2 is the longest cut on the album and at nearly 7 minutes, and also one of the disc's most ambitious, unleashing a nimble acoustic intro that segs into majestic howling guitar solos from Gross. The shifting and lifting of guitar and bass are particularly interesting during the chorus in this one, and both are equally present in the mix, and both melodies are supporting the song without duplicating one another. The song shifts into a jazzy, clean melody around the 3-minute mark, guitar and bass still shredding independently of one another, while Shuda adds a decidedly goth-adjacent vocal to the weirdness. Eventually, the heavier riff tones return, but against a slower, airier groove, enhanced by synths for a sound that is anything but typical on a thrash or death metal album. An interesting band, I'm sure you'll agree, from all the ins and outs of the band's history to their unusual songwriting approach to the title and lyrics that seem somewhat at odds with one another. At any rate, chalk this one up to another winning combination by the Gods of War label, and a disc that continues to dispel its odd magic over the course of multiple listens. All hail the enlightened thrashers. Let's hear a little of Amyotrophy 2. Faint bankers, ridicules, and really difficult names. We made it through.
Yeah, you would think
The
my
Irish one was the hardest.
you would think my Irish heritage would
Kick in.
or flip a switch, but it did
Well,
not.
my grandfather was Irish too. It didn't do anything for me. This has been the Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast. Special thanks to Tom and Eloise from Trauma Bond for appearing on the show. Snaggletooth theme by Gustav Jord of Defleshed. Sounds of Decay theme by Steve Rathbone of Lair of the Minotaur. Sounds of Decay bands this week, check them out. Büddah, Kosuke Hashida, and Coscradh. All content 2026, the Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast.
Pick a card, any card. Will I be Amy Boobs McGee or maybe Cyrodion Priodon? You pick.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.